guest. Our special guest today is Kathryn Gauci, an internationally acclaimed best-selling author of historical fiction whose work has been recognised with major international awards, including the CIBA International Hemingway Award. Born in England, raised by Europe, and deeply inspired by Greece, Kathryn lived and worked in Melbourne for 6 years, an experience that became the heartbeat of her writing. Before becoming a full-time author, she ran a successful textile design studio in Melbourne, in the world and immersing herself in culture, history, and human stories. She's written 12 historical novels, many set in Greece and Turkey, others during World War II, and has contributed to the USA Today best-selling anthology. And now she's released her very own first travel memoir, An Aegean Odyssey, a beautiful reflection on place, memory, and the journey that shapes us. Kathryn Gauci, welcome to the KK Factor. It's an absolute pleasure to have you live on our show.
Thank you so much, Rula. Excuse me for looking a bit hot and bothered here, but it's 40 degrees and I'm sweating. Thank you for
okay.
that.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you for that very nice introduction. I hope
You're very, very welcome. Now we can sort of hear you, but not quite well.
I'm just wondering if I put my earphones.
You have your headphones? Yeah, do that. That would be really great. You'll get a much better sound. And we've been waiting today to listen to you. I've been reading all about you through your website, and it's just a remarkable journey. And I know now all our listeners also want to hear about the whole story and how you do it. And it's really an honor, actually, to interview an author who's not Greek, but your passion, it all comes from Greece. It stems from Greece. You've learned how to speak Greek. So, Kalispera. Καλώς ήρθατε στο The KK Factor, το ελληνικό Eurobeat Show, εδώ στο RPPFM.
Καλησπέρα σας. Καλησπέρα σας. Ελπίζω δεν θα συνεχίσουμε στα ελληνικά.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Kathryn, you've lived and worked across England, Austria, Greece, New Zealand, and Australia. When people ask you where you're from, how do you answer that, and how has that shaped your writing voice?
Well, I suppose I always have to say that I'm English, but I feel international. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
That's fine. But I feel international. It depends sometimes with my writing, it depends where I'm writing. And then suddenly my personality dives into that area.
Wow.
And I become one with that country again and the characters. So
that's amazing. That is really amazing, because that would also help in your writing. And you know, there's a lot to be said about you, the passion. And I guess that's where it all comes from. The ability to connect with that country where you are at that moment.
Well, it's important. And I don't think that you can be an historical fiction writer and have authenticity and do the people and the country justice unless you understand them.
That's right.
I read a lot of books and I can tell, you know, that if it lacks soul. So
that's okay. Well, let's just start from your journey. Now, before you started writing novels, you spent 15 years running a textile design studio. Yeah. Do you see a connection between designing patterns and weaving stories? How did all that happen?
Definitely. There is a correlation in not just the way you see things. I mean, that's taken for granted. But in the way that you approach writing a book. It's almost the same way as doing a design for a client. You know, wow. Know your market, how are you going to structure it, be a bit of an artist where you've got an open canvas, a blank canvas, but you know a basic structure, but leave enough so that it can move. with as the characters, as the plot moves, and know the ending. I always have to know the ending. I want to
That
know
makes
the
sense.
beginning and the end. Otherwise, the ending gives me something to aim for. It might change a little bit, but generally not that much.
Wow. Now, your first novel, The Embroiderer, since you were in
Yeah.
textile designing, was born from your time in Greece. Did you know then that the storytelling would become your life's work?
No, not at all. I had no idea that I would ever become a writer.
Wow, not even
Um,
after that.
no, 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 because at that time, I had a very good design life. I actually wouldn't have left Greece if it hadn't have been for the um, situation that I needed to, my marital situation, without going into details at the time. I would have stayed on. Uh, but we needed, in those days, you had to get a yearly permit, and it wasn't part of the EU. And I could get that permit, but my then husband couldn't get one. So we
Oh,
moved.
okay.
We moved, and otherwise, I think I would have stayed there.
So, where did you move to after Greece?
New Zealand, and I thought I'd fallen off the end. I
Wow.
thought I'd fallen off the end of the world.
That's like chalk and cheese.
I know.
Both beautiful countries in their own rights, but that's like totally
I
that's like
know,
chalk and
I
cheese.
know, and especially in those days, that's a funny thing. But now New Zealand's come of age, so I didn't like it. I definitely didn't like it. My marriage was on the rock,
Oh,
and I thought, well, I'm going back to Europe. I'm going to go back to Greece, but I'll just check out Australia first.
love
I'm
it.
over here, so I'll check out.
Now, Australia is a very, very big country. Where did you arrive? In which state or
Well,
city?
well, the carpet companies were in Melbourne. So I just wrote. That's always been the story of my life with design. I just write letters. I just write and think somewhere must want me. Law of averages. If you write enough letters and now send enough emails, someone will want you. And I actually got the offer of 3 jobs as head designer, and I chose one, and then I moved to another, and then yeah, so I ended up.
Did you travel anywhere else or work anywhere else in Australia or predominantly in Melbourne?
No, in Melbourne. I mean, I don't really know Sydney. I only ever went to Sydney for work.
And where are you coming live from now?
Melbourne.
Oh, you
You're
are
in
in
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah, but
I wasn't sure.
no, you're in. Yes,
I'm
this
in
is
Melbourne
sounding
too.
bad.
I'm in the
Yeah,
peninsula right now here at the studio. I'm in
yeah.
Mornington.
So I'm in Eltham.
You're in Eltham, beautiful Eltham, actually, a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful part of Melbourne. You write historical fiction set during powerful and often turbulent times. What draws you to history as a way of telling human stories?
Sorry, could you
What
repeat?
draws you to history as a way of telling human stories? Because you seem to be drawn, um, like you write your fictions during powerful and turbulent times.
Um, I'm really interested in history for a start off, and uh, I've found that came to the fore, even though I didn't know that I would write, when I lived in Vienna,
Yeah.
because that was not long after. I was still there were still remnants of World War II there, strong remnants, and then of course working with the Asia Minor refugees and seeing World War II and being closely affiliated with that. History was always around me, and I just liked it anyway.
Yeah.
History and art always sort of go together. So it, it became, when I did decide to have that light bulb moment, I thought, this is what I want to be, because when you're writing historical fiction, you can get a very strong narrative and create great characters. And my characters are often based on real people.
Yeah, because they're all strong, complex, emotional. They're real. Are
Yeah.
they inspired by people you've met along your travels?
Uh, in some cases, yeah,
In some cases.
yeah. But with let's say with World War II, I'm inspired by the secret agents, real life secret agents that that some of them have died,
Yeah.
in the line of duty. So, but of course, you meet people and they have idiosyncrasies. I mean, some of the people in the Aegean Odyssey memoir, they actually do turn up in my in the embroiderer and in other books,
Wow. Wow.
because the saying that this the man that I met in Chios who thumped his fist on the table and said, I know the area in Lesbos. I know it like I know yogurt, which
Wow.
is such a Greek saying. And I mean, you couldn't expect an English person to say that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And,
Kathryn,
and those things sort of creep in. So little things creep in.
how do you approach writing these stories, especially, they're sensitive to tell the truth, and then you've kind of got to not say too much. How do you approach that? How do you do that?
Um, I think once you immerse yourself, I always want to do justice to the people I'm writing about.
Yeah.
When I when I write a book, quite often I never know what the next book is going to be. When I wrote The Embroiderer, I had no idea what I would go on to write because that book was so all-encompassing. But my point at every time is to do justice to the people I'm writing about. And, you know, with The Embroiderer, we went through a lot of upheavals. I went through several generations, and I wanted it to be seen. No, I can't say intellectually, but I just wanted to do them justice and to be balanced as well.
Well, you've obviously doing a fantastic job because you've received major international awards. You've received is it CIBA or CIBA
Yeah,
International Hemingway Award. What did that recognition mean to you
uh,
personally?
amazing because I mean, I love Hemingway anyway, but the fact that it's I've got 4 of those. I'm really can't believe it. And the other one is in the running for it, a different category. Um, but it means so much to me because it's an acknowledgement by my peers of 20th century wartime fiction. And
Is that at the time when the penny dropped and you said to yourself, okay, this is where I'm meant to be? A writer?
uh, no, the penny dropped when I was writing The Embroiderer. I just
The
decided that,
first one.
yeah, I just decided this is what I'm going to do. But I never knew where it was going to take me.
Okay, that's the difference. Okay, let's go on to An Aegean Odyssey, your latest release. This is your first travel memoir.
Yeah.
What made you shift from fiction to telling your own story?
I don't mind having a break. It's like I don't mind suddenly writing about Greece and then I move to France or like anything like that. A break's as good as a rest. But I've been reading a lot of Greek memoirs, and much as I enjoy quite a lot of them for their own reasons, I didn't feel that any of them were finding that old Greece that I knew. I didn't think that they were getting to the soul of the people. It seemed
Yeah.
at a superficial level, um, and so many writers have come out since I first started writing in memoirs. So therefore, they're writing more modern, modern
Okay.
stuff. And I wanted to find that old world.
Was it
That was
confronting at any point because you're actually writing about yourself now, not fictional characters? Was it ever difficult for you?
no, no.
No, I
Um,
love it.
uh, I once I set my mind to something, I just go for it. But it helped me because I had typed up all those notes from that 2005 trip. Without those notes, and I have to say, the box is just thick with the typed notes, I would never have been able to have remembered all those leptamerias,
Leptomerius, yes.
because the conversations were there, and all the little tiny things. I just couldn't have written it with that
Wow.
depth if I had not have kept all those notes. And it surprised me um, that when I did think, oh my God, really that happened. And it was very nice to look back at it. It was like a reawakening. It was a
Yeah.
reawakening to go back into that time. I'm very sad that those times have gone. I have to say. And
But they will live on, the memory, because you're writing about it.
well, I hope so. I mean, that's one thing that I want to happen in my stories. I do want them to live on. I want the people to live on, and the feeling to live on.
What do you hope readers feel when they actually finish reading your book and close your book? One of your books? What do you hope they feel and get out of it?
Uh, I want them to. Depends what I'm writing. I want them to have felt a sense of passion, empathy. In some of my books, my husband reads my books, and can be very critical. He reads it with an outsider's viewpoint, and at the end of some of the books, he's in tears, he's crying, because he said it moves him so much. And that's what I want my readers to feel. I want them to be touched.
And you're also preserving the culture,
Yeah, I'm
especially for
trying
those
to.
communities that are living so far away from their original roots.
Yeah, I am trying to do that. I didn't want those years starting. Let's talk about Greece here. I didn't want those years of the Asia Minor refugees to be forgotten at all. I did, the 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 heartbreak that they felt when they were talking about their homeland. It never left them. It's that's why many of them intermarried. So because they were carrying on their stories verbally. So I have actually written down these stories. And many of them lived a fantastic life, and many of them didn't want to go to Greece. Greece was nothing. In fact, that's another example of an expression. My girlfriend who lives in near Onia, who was in the factory with me, she said herself in the early days, "Pop, what was Athens when Smyrna was everywhere? Athens was nothing." So I put it in the book. I put it in the book that the grandmother went to her granddaughter, who said, "Oh, we might have to think, might have to get out." And not all the family wanted to get out, so there were arguments. And she said, "What is Athens to you?" So, and I was thinking of Fofo there, but that was the thought of many of the refugees. They had a good life.
That's right. That's right. Kathryn, if you could step back into one place, because you've been to so many, from your books, for just one evening, where would it be?
dear.
Did I catch you off guard there?
It checks me up.
Oh, darling.
It would have to be Hios.
Tell me why.
Hios.
Share this moment. Share what you're feeling right now with the audience.
Well, it was that massacre, the massacre at Hios. Even all these years later, just to walk in those footsteps, it still touches me. And I wanted my readers to feel that. I took so many photographs. So in the beginning, where, I don't know if you've read The Embroider.
No, not yet.
Well, in the beginning, there is a point, the opening part, where I'm not going to give anything away, but where these things are happening, I walked in those footsteps, and because I like to find a place to walk when there's no one around, I'm always looking to be solitary. I could imagine it. I can look at the photographs now and think that's where this took place. And I know it all. I know the stones. I know the tufts of grass that grow out of those desolate stones, and what took place on Chios. And I did a lot of research on it. Eyewitness accounts at the time, where I actually got one book, which was from the Aegean Society in New York, of a young boy who, his descriptions were incredible. But I also read from the Turkish side as well. I read a lot, in fact, for any book that I write. I see it from both sides.
From both sides, yeah.
And that's why the embroidery is quite complicated. So you will see that, because there are always these two sides to a story. And
there is always two sides to the story. Definitely, 100%.
But it was a time when the Sultan Mahmud had no option. Looking at it from his point of view, through those eyes, in those days, he had no option but to try and put down Chios, because it was a very important island to the Turks, especially the Mastic villages. And he was going to set an example. And he was just a product of his time. And so many of them escaped. It was, and also in Chios, there were little things that took me aback, because I went to one of the Kore's library there, and on one of the floors they had all these portraits, and there were very elegantly dressed portraits, where they've got this dark look, and someone wearing pearls, and they're in beautiful gold frames. And I'm looking around, and there's this one woman, and she's really, you'd think she was from Paris. And I said, hanged by the Turks at the bottom of it. And I just looked, and I thought, what? I just couldn't visualize it. And the more I looked, I kept seeing, hanged by the Turk. And then I found out exactly what happened to them.
Wow.
Yeah, and but interestingly, the Hiots, because they were very wealthy, many of them had businesses in Trieste, Marseille, London. So a lot of them were able to get out. The business people, the high-ranking people. So they were able to get out, and they had money overseas. But when I came to write one of my World War II stories, escaping through the Pyrenees, the escape routes, the Greeks were very important in helping the the soldiers and the French and the Jewish people to escape. They played a very important role.
Wow.
And one of them particularly was from that notable Hiot family,
Wow.
because he lived in Marseille. So so there's still connections that they obviously were still. All this stuff is still fresh in their
Look, there is a
minds, and they're
huge
going to help
presence
other
of
people.
history, Greek history in Marseille. I've recently been to France and there is a huge influence. And I did a little bit of research, and unbeknownst to me, I read that the Greeks occupied Marseille prior, and then the Romans came in, and then the French came in, and yeah, it's there. And I learn, like my listeners are listening to you now. We're learning stories and we're learning things that we've never heard before. Some of us may have,
Yeah,
and through our
yeah,
travels, we learn things by researching where we are. Whereas when I was a lot
yeah.
younger, it was about beaches and beautiful things to look at, but I never really researched. And it's amazing what you hear and what you read. um, I want to say, first of all, Kathryn, when I asked you that question, I never thought you would come out and tell us this story. And I want to thank you. And I want to thank you because it caught me unaware that it brought emotions to you. And, you're very vulnerable in that moment. And I really want to thank you for allowing yourself to live through what you're telling us, because it's so important that the audience feels what you feel. And thank you so much, because I did put you in a difficult situation, and I do apologize, but
That's okay. It just
it
comes.
just comes.
That's the artistic side.
Well, let's then go flip it. And I'm going to ask you a similar question. With all your travels, and if you want to touch on Greece, that's fine, but with all your travels, which is one of your happy places and why?
My happy
Yeah, happy
places.
place.
Oh wow.
Like, I haven't traveled much, but I will say Marseille is I have a spot in my heart for many different reasons. And if someone said to me, "Where was your happy place in all your travels?" Although I love everywhere I've been so far, which hasn't been that many places, Marseille, there's a special connection there for many, many reasons for me.
Um, well, France in general, I have to say, I love French
Oh,
villages.
you're like
Um,
me.
I love the food. The food is to die
Yes,
for.
especially their onion soup and snails, if done correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. But the markets, the attitude to it's sacrosanct.
And the language. The
To
language, it's like they sing. I love the French language.
um, yes, I love it as well. But when I try and speak it, I learned it at school for 4 years. But I just think it's best if you learn a language when you're actually
In the country,
with the
that's right.
people.
Because I remember, because I did French when I went to high school. And you do forget it unless you use it. But then it sort of came back to me, a few little things, and it was great. Um, Catherine,
But then when I now start to talk it, a bit of German creeps in, or Greek, and it sounds like a dog's dinner. I have to write it down before I go
you've definitely
out.
got a beautiful, beautiful journey, and I'm in awe of you that you've lived through different places and you've written about different places, and not many people get to have that opportunity, and it is a true
No,
blessing. Catherine,
I feel privileged.
what's next for you? Is it going to be another novel, more travel, something unexpected?
Always travel, and I never know what's going to happen.
Oh my goodness, that's
Never
so
know where
good.
I'm. Yeah, no, no,
Like when you went
no.
from Greece to New
Um,
Zealand. No,
how I even ended up in Greece anyway, from Vienna.
mostly they end up in
How did
Darwin,
I end
Sydney,
up
or
in?
Melbourne or Adelaide. You went to New Zealand. You bypassed Australia.
Um, well, I have before I did the Odyssey. I was halfway through a World War II book set in Malta. I'm trying to get my Maltese citizenship because of my husband being Maltese,
Okay.
so it gives me more access to Europe again since Brexit. Um, and so I'm halfway through that, but it's a very involved story because most Malta was the most bombed place on earth in World War II. And they also helped the Greeks as well. It was, it was just amazing what went on. But most World War II books in Malta are written by men.
That's right. I have a very close historian male who's an author, Jim Cleven, and he's written Gallipoli.
Oh, I know Jim.
You know Jim Cleven? Yep.
Yeah, we're very good friends.
Oh, there you go. And
he often gives me really interesting books to read.
That is so good. So am I guessing that the Antipodes Festival is coming in at the end of February, and they've got the store where they've got the books, and you meet Jim Cleven and other writers. Will we have the privilege of meeting you there?
Well, I've been there for the last couple of times, but I don't know if we're actually, at this point in time, if we are actually having a stand as we did before, or it's just the one bookshop stand. Okay. Which, if it is, I'll be going in and out.
Okay.
So
that's okay. You've got my number. I've got your number now. I'm definitely going to catch up with you 100%, meet you in person. Okay, so there's going to be plenty of travel. Anything unexpected?
No, that is always looking for something unexpected.
Oh, I love this.
And I think to myself, well, I would like to do the Winter War in Finland. I have a Romanian Jewish friend who said, Kathryn, please come to Bucharest, because there's a lot of Greeks, as you know, in Bucharest. In Romania, and she said you can go and visit the Greeks, and it's not an area that's spoken about very much in World War II, because it's not a very good time at all there. So there's Romania and that, but I don't know.
More travel.
I'm open to anything, Sky's the limit.
You're amazing.
It's just got to grab me. But I know we have to be short. We're short on time here. But you asked me what the next book was. But I just put that Malta book aside again because it's very complex to write. I have to read a lot of books about these, submarine fleets. Even though I'm not really going to actually write a lot about them, I still have to know about all these tech things. So I am halfway through another book set in Paris, World War II, and this one is set around with real people, set around France's worst serial killer.
Okay.
Who operated during this time, and I'm weaving this story around him, bringing in agents and escape lines. So there is a lot of truth in that. It's just me having to mold the story.
Fantastic. Kathryn, where can the listeners find your books and follow your journey? Other than I've crossed my platforms, I have put your website in and your Facebook accounts and everything, and LinkedIn. But we want to hear from you. Where can the listeners find your books and follow your journey?
Well, all my books are on Amazon, and the Greek community has some of them.
Fantastic. The Greek Centre, the Greek community of Melbourne at the Greek Centre.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But people only have to contact me, and I can get the book sent out to them within a week.
Well, I will reshare just your website on my social platforms, and I will also tag the Greek Centre, because some people are in the city, they'll just pop into the Greek Centre or they'll just go via your website.
Yeah.
Kathryn, you're absolutely amazing. Keep your journey going. Please stay in touch, because even if you're overseas somewhere and you've come across a story, shoot me a message. I will get you on live from wherever you are around the world on a Tuesday night, and we're going to get you live and hear what you're doing. You're very remarkable.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to speak with you. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Kathryn. We love you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.